Knockout from the land of the rising sun, Japan. Let's make some noise for Kai Ishizawa. And his opponent across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the red corner, the champion. Official weight, 107.2 pounds. In his professional campaign, he has amassed 14 wins with 1 loss, and 4 of those wins came by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning and defending WBO Global Junior Flyweight Champion, Reggie the Filipino Phenom Sugano. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we will now clear the ring as we are about to start this championship.
And there's the tail of the tape for everybody here. 26 years old po. Etong si Reggie Sugano, but ang kanyang kalaban naman from Japan is 27 years old, is Ishizawa. So 14 wins, 11 wins ang kanyang kalaban naman. But look at the knockout to win ratio para naman dito kay Kai Ishizawa. 11 wins, 10 of them coming by way of knockout. Samantala dito naman para kay Sugano, 14 wins but only 4 KOs. However, makikita naman po natin from the way his career has been shaping up, he's starting to peak at just the right time. And coming off a win against Ronald Chacon last November 23. Dito rin po yun sa Bohol para makamit nga itong ating WBO Global Light Flyweight Championship. Attorney Danrex Tapdazan is the 3rd man in the ring. Siya po ang ating referee dito. And again, the locals are all getting ready para dito sa ating laban na ito.
This is it, ladies and gentlemen, for the WBO Global Junior Flyweight Championship, Philippines versus Japan. Let's get it on!
And this is scheduled for 12 dito po sa ating venue, the Holy Name University Gymnasium here in Tagbilaran City. Round number 1 is now underway. Naka-pink po itong si Ishizawa, at ang ating Pilipino naman ay nakasuot ng asul, the reigning champion dito. He is taller, by the way. It's about 5'5" po itong si Sugano. Both fighters are orthodox. Only 5'1.5" naman ang height nitong si Ishizawa. He's actually still listed as a minimum weight at now trying to make inroads in the junior flyweight division. So dito nga po, scheduled for 12, kapaan po ito, but alam naman natin yung power galing sa kamay nitong si Ishizawa is something that Sugano has to be very careful of. Sugano suffered his first loss in his career just last year, last July 2. Sa unang biyahe niya pa sa labas ng Pilipinas, that was against Sivanati Notchinga in South Africa. And he was going for the title at the time. Konting hintay lang, nakuha naman niya ulit ang titulo ng WBO Global Junior Flyweight by virtue of that win against the Venezuelan, etong si Ronald Chacon. So dito po sa round number 1, medyo nagkakapaan pa sila. Again, scheduled for 12, and usually the longer fights would favor the Filipino, who's more of a boxer, a stylist, than he is a power hitter, but now he's displaying some power. 4-punch combination, no response for Ishizawa. Reminds you a lot itong si Sugano of a very young Luisito Espinosa, the way he's built, and the hand speed perhaps of a Rolando Navarrete. Of course, the light flyweight division is where the most championships have been taken by Filipinos. Sugano, sinusubok-subukan pa rin kung gaano katibay ang sikmura at saka itong ulo ng kanyang kalaban from Japan. 1 minute remaining here in the opening round, scheduled for 12. And you can see no matter where you go, Filipinos are very astute about boxing. Alam nila kung maganda ang pinakita. Alam din nila kung medyo nadedehado. There's a lot of buzz going around after that power shot coming from Ishizawa. It's Ishizawa's turn right now to try and take the advantage. By our unofficial scorecard, Sugano is leading in this round. Let's see what kind of finishing kick this 27-year-old from Japan has. Ishizawa absorbing some punishment. That's a left hook to the head. More shots to the head coming from Sugano. Final seconds of round number 1. Late surge there coming from Ishizawa. But round number 1 looks to be going the way of the Filipino. Itong si Sugano. And you can see right there itong corner nito si Kai Ishizawa. And they just announced there earlier that it's very rare to have an opponent from Japan come over all the way to Bohol para po lumaban para sa isang world title. The WBO Global Light Flyweight title, of course, is at stake. Ito po si Ishizawa turned pro in June of 2017 and immediately picked up his first win. Actually, his first 6 wins were all by way of knockout. And eventually did suffer his first loss against a fellow Japanese in 2022. As we now move into round number 2, muli po magandang hapon po mula po dito sa Holy Name University Gymnasium in Tagbilaran City, Bohol. Ito po si Noel Zarate para sa PTV4. Nakahatid po sa inyo ng world-class boxing between the Filipino phenom Reggie Sugano versus Kai Ishizawa of Japan. Some connections there, medyo shaken po. Ito si Ishizawa, left open again on the face. The right hand has been a very deadly weapon para dito kay Sugano. Not really solid blows, but those are scoring blows. Mukhang may konting dugo na tayo nakikita rito sa ulo nitong si Sugano. There may have been a headbutt somewhere. That would be unfortunate if that cut gets bigger, if it is a cut at all. Ishizawa still moving forward, trying to control the ring generalship here. Siyempre sa pagbubukas sa round number 2, buhos ka agad ang binigay dito ni Filipino phenom Reggie Sugano. The record of 14-1, trying to defend this WBO Global Light Flyweight Championship. Kapaan na naman silang dalawa rito. Now trying to go for the body, Ishizawa, which could be a good idea against a taller fighter. Tanda po natin that Ishizawa only a shade above 5'1", but he's got a lot of power. Good center of gravity. 5'5" naman po ang listed height nitong si Reggie Sugano. Halfway mark of round number 2 scheduled for 12. Now body shots being exchanged by both fighters. Again, plowing forward pa rin. Ito po si Ishizawa of Japan, the challenger in the pink trunks. Exchange of jabs. No follow-ups yet so far for Ishizawa. It appears that Sugano has now tasted how powerful those punches can be. Mukhang hindi niya pa masyadong iniinda. Again, Ishizawa trying to go for as many body blows as he can, trying to soften up his opponent. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage, 4-inch height advantage, and about a 4-inch reach advantage as well. Shots to the body. Better defense actually here for Ishizawa, pero nakakalusot pa rin itong si Sugano as we now enter the final 30 seconds of round number 2. Good counter from Sugano to the head. So far the strategy of the Japanese fighters, just plow forward and try to go for the body. Final 10 seconds of the round. Still more body shots being thrown by Ishizawa. Closer round, but it still looks like Sugano might have had the early lead and kept that early lead. As we now head into round number 3. Muli po magandang hapon sa inyo lahat. We're coming to you live from the Holy Name University Gym as we take a look at some of the action here. That was that wild uppercut to open that second round. Medyo nawala ng balance itong si Ishizawa. And Sugano making sure that he kept his opponent at bay. So once again, we welcome you to our coverage of Kumong Bolanon 15, as it is called here at the Holy Name University Gymnasium. Dito po sa Tagbilaran City, Bohol. Noel Zarate pa rin po naghahatid ng aksyon para po sa PTV4 and wherever you might be watching us from all over the world. There was some blood issues already. Not quite sure if it came from the nose or if there was a cut above the head of Suganov. It appears that the cutmen have been able to stabilize that for now. Third round, scheduled for 12 for the WBO Global Light Flyweight Championship. Defending champion, of course, the Filipino phenom, as they call him, Reggie Suganov, so far in our unofficial scorecard, has taken the first 2 rounds. The action has slowed down a bit after that explosive first round kung saan talagang nagpakawala ng maraming suntok. Ito po si Suganov, and now he's just measuring his opponent. Tandaan natin, he has a height and reach advantage over his Japanese opponent, Kai Ishizawa. But you look at the records, Ishizawa, of course, out of his 11 wins, 10 wins coming by way of knockout. His last 4 bouts, however, 3 of them were losses. So medyo pabawi pa lang itong si Ishizawa. Did lose way back in 2019. That was his first loss against Taniguchi. The rematch, he also lost against Masataka Taniguchi. Nakabawi na lang nung lumaban si Jay Sever Absede sa Japan in the same venue where he lost. That was a win. That was actually a knockout win para kay Ishizawa, but lost to Vince Paras in his last outing just last year in October. So this is his first fight since losing to Paras. More body shots, or more headshots now coming from Ishizawa. Shot to the body once again. Every time magpakawala ng isa. Ito si Suganov, and it's solid. Like that combination was just a flurry. The crowd really gets into it here. One more shot to the body. So far, no consistent headway being gained by Kai Ishizawa of Japan. We have our 3 judges at ringside, scoring this on a 10-point must system. Our judges are around the ring, of course. Judges are Martino Redona, Stephen Puerta, and Edward Ligas. Final 23 seconds. And a round that really hasn't turned much in terms of Ishizawa. Now a late surge coming from Suganov. So far so good for the Filipino phenom. That could be another round under his belt. At the end of 3, we have it unofficially at 3 rounds para naman dito kay Reggie Suganov. Now, of course, Reggie Suganov is actually the number 3 flyweight in the Philippines at the moment and number 15 in the world. And he did start his career way back in 2018, so he's been a professional boxer. Itong si Reggie Suganov for almost 6 years now. His first victory was against Mark Torrelia in a fight in Cebu. He has fought exclusively in Cebu, Mandaue, and here in Bohol. And the only time he left the country nga was yung kanyang laban against Sivanati Notshiga in South Africa in July of last year. Kung saan po siya natalo in via unanimous decision. But he did have his fair share of victories against international opponents. He won against Andika, the Golden Boy from Indonesia. And of course, his last fight to get the belt against Ronald Chacon of Venezuela. We're now in round number 4. Dito po sa ating WBO Global Light Flyweight Battle. The champion so far, Reggie Suganov of the Philippines, unofficially has taken the first 3 rounds. And Kai Ishizawa of Japan trying to see if he can turn the tide here. We know he's a power puncher, but he's being a little careless with his defense. Nakakalusot na naman. And you can see some welts already developing under both eyes of the Japanese as those punishing jabs from Suganov have done some damage. There was a blood issue earlier. It looks like it was a nose thing, but looks like everything's been cleared up already for Ishizawa. But at the rate, nakakalusot itong mga jabs nitong si Suganov. Might be a very long day here for the Japanese fighter. But again, the game plan is still the same. Just move forward, go for the body. Ngayon, chinechempohan na lang po nitong si Suganov. Yung kanyang haba talaga ginagamit dito. He's got about a 4-inch reach advantage over a smaller opponent. And the one thing Suganov doesn't want to do is get engaged in an inside battle. We have a holding warning issued by Attorney Danrex Tapdasan, our referee. Again, it is Ishizawa just moving forward, looking for some openings. Actually, binibigay na nga nitong si Suganov yung body shots, and Ishizawa's not taking it. 1-2 parried there by Ishizawa. Again, his defense is improved from the first round. But there are still some times where he drops his guard. And the moment he does that, may dalawa kagad na makakalusot para dito kay Suganov. Past the halfway mark of round number 4, scheduled for 12. Not quite sure how Ishizawa can actually still see through those eyes na unti-unti na pong namamaga. Again, he's just moving forward. That's the only positive working now on the side of Ishizawa. He's not allowing his opponent to move forward. Medyo sumandal doon ng matagal. Ito si Suganov. Pero nakabalik na rin, and he has now turned the tide. He has now got his opponents against the ropes. 40 seconds remaining here. A lunging left hand coming from Suganov. Another uppercut. And this time Ishizawa says, bring it on. Another right hand here from Suganov. The accuracy from the Filipino phenom is off the charts here in round number 4. The eyes of Ishizawa, both of them, not just one, both of them starting to close. Danrex Tapdasan has to step in once again. Final seconds of the 4th. Suddenly the power of Reggie Suganov being displayed here. Kino-contra-tempo niya talaga. Ito si Ishizawa. Every time Ishizawa tries to reload, Suganov is in his face, and Ishizawa is starting to get upset that he cannot execute against the Filipino phenom. If the last 2 rounds were close, this was not. So again, the Filipino phenom, Reggie Suganov, so far in our unofficial scorecard has taken the first 4 rounds of this bout, despite the fact that Tai Ishizawa keeps on moving forward, and he has been really making his efforts to get inside. Pero yun nga, one way lang ang ginagawa rito nito si Ishizawa. He is just moving forward, but no punches really thrown, no solid punches being thrown. But for Reggie Suganov talagang he has come in with a game plan. Kung susugurin siya ng ganito, aabangan na lang niya sa gilid-gilid, and his jab has been on point. It has been crisp, and it has been working out here for the Filipino. Now, there is a little bit of a wound on top of that head, the same wound that we saw in round number 1, but the cutmen, dito si Suganov, have been doing a spectacular job in making that a non-factor. Round number 5 again, scheduled for 12. Noel Zarate pa rin po. Nag-atid sa inyo na aksyon mula po rito sa Holy Name University Gymnasium in Tagbilaran City, Bohol. It has been rainy here in Bohol for the past couple of days. And now some stand-up fighting. Wala na masyadong sayaw-sayaw na ginagawa ni Ishizawa. And Suganov is just picking him off. Remember, if this fight goes the distance, that usually favors Suganov. If you look at his record, 14 wins, 1 loss. Only 4 wins coming by way of knockout. So this guy is really out to outpoint you. Whereas itong si Ishizawa, 11 wins, 10 coming by way of KO. So he would like opportunities to finish his opponent. His first 6 bouts, as we mentioned earlier, did not go the distance. Puro knockout po yun. Yung unang 6 panalo. Itong si Kai Ishizawa, starting out with his opponent from Thailand in 2017. Itong si Bongsapon Panyakum. That was actually a first round knockout. Some infighting now between the two.
A lot of blood now coming out of the head, the face of Suganov. So the wound that he got on the forehead is now open. That is a cause for concern now for the side of Suganov. Tandaan po natin, he did have a fight. He won via TKO against Ronald Chacon kasi nasugatan din. Ito si Ronald Chacon. Don't want this fight to end because the doctor says end it. Final minute of the 5th. Even the crowd here a little concerned about seeing the presence of blood on the face of their homeboy from Dawis, Bohol. Ito po si Reggie Suganov. One thing about having a head wound like that, buti na lang it's not above the eyebrow. Does not impair your vision. But when you see your opponent's white gloves with a little bit of blood, you're already concerned. So far, Ishizawa is actually doing well until that right hook delivered by Sugano. But now Ishizawa, his game plan is now starting to come into play. He is getting more connections now here in round number 5. Oh, good exchange there. Ishizawa had the better of it though. Another jab coming in for the Japanese. A lot of misses here for Suganov. Round number 6 comes to an end, and it looks like that is the first round that Kai Ishizawa is going to be able to take here against the champ. And even the crowd knows a lot of buzz here. They have to work on that cut. Tapos si Reggie Suganov, that cut was present as early as round number 1, pero again, the cutman, the corner of Suganov was able to plug it up and opened again in round number 5. At yun na naging target tuloy nitong si Ishizawa. And pinaplansya naman yung mga ilalim ng mata dito ni Ishizawa. That is of course a cold press. Since the 2nd and 3rd round, nagsimula na po mamagayan because of all of the jabs and straights and combinations na hindi naman kalakasan para dito kay Sugano, pero they were all enough to inflict that kind of damage here against Ishizawa. At ilang beses natin napapansin na pikit-pikit siya habang nasa laban. Not quite sure if he was trying to stave off the tears.
Round number 6
that were forming there. So it looks like they put a lot of petroleum jelly now on the face of Suganov as we enter the 6th round. Once again, Noel Zarate pa rin po nag-atid sa inyo na aksyon mula po rito sa Holy Name University Gym in Tagbilaran City, Bohol. This is for the WBO Global Light Flyweight Champion. Kampiyon dito si Suganov of the Philippines, absorbing a right hook that time from his Japanese opponent. Again, continuing to plow forward. Ito pong si Ishizawa of Japan, the challenger. One left hook, sending him backwards. But not for long, sugod na naman. Ito si Ishizawa. Sugano needs to find ways to work the angles here. Napapasok itong si Ishizawa. Trying to be a counter puncher. We knew he was the aggressor at the start. That uppercut goes through. Nabaliktad na naman niya sitwasyon. This time Ishizawa is behind the ropes, but that's not gonna last long as Ishizawa keeps on moving forward. Wala namang counter na ginagawa pa so far. Itong si Suganov to take that away, and that is a display to the judges about ring generalship. Neutral corner time here, and it looks like the doctor will be brought in for the first time by referee Danrex Tapdasan para silipin po yung sugat nitong si Dawis native Reggie, the Filipino phenom Suganov. So it is not on the eye, it's over the bridge of the nose. Itong sugat niya. We've heard cases of a fighter already having a broken nose, not knowing that it was a broken nose. So according to our referee, sugat lamang. Pwede pa magtuloy. Time in, sabi ni Attorney Tapdasan. And we are back to bring you the rest of round number 6. Suddenly, bumuhos na naman si Suganov. Not very accurate on the punches, but still enough to get the crowd into it. Body exchange. About a minute remaining here in the 6th. Ishizawa getting a little successful now with those inside incursions. Good left coming from Suganov. But again, Ishizawa just wants to pin him against the ropes and throw 1 million punches. Uppercut. Gets through another combination here. It's a late surge that might steal the round for Suganov. Until that point, Ishizawa handin 15. Nabalzara pa rin po nag-atid sa inyo ng aksyon para po sa PTV4. And wherever it is, you might be watching us from anywhere in the world. Again, this is a title fight.
Seconds out. Seconds out.
The title fight, of course, being for the WBO Global Light Flyweight
Round
title.
number 7.
Buot-buot po yan during the introductions nitong si Suganov. As we now enter the 7th round, still very much the same, but now napapabilis na yung pagsugod dito nitong si Kai Ishizawa of Japan in the pink trunks. A little bit of wrestling there between the two. One of our strictest referees, Danrex Tapdasan, instructs them on what not to do in a tie-up like that. You can see that Suganov's power is sort of taken a breather at the moment. The wound is not a factor anymore. If you're just joining us, meron pong sugat na natamo. Etong si Reggie Suganov, as early as the first round, tuldok pa lamang po ng first round, pero talagang naging lahua na nung 5th round. The doctor had to be brought in to check it out. Fight still continues and looks like the wound has been quelled for the moment. Ishizawa once again pounding inside. No response coming from Suganov, who tries to push him back to the middle of the ring. Now Suganov's reach advantage has been negated now because of all of the inside shots coming from Ishizawa. Pati yung depensa ni Suganov, unti-unti na pong nadidismantle. From a fighter from Japan. What had been working for Suganov was the shots to the head, the jabs, and the combinations to the head. Kasi unti-unti na nga napapasara na niya yung mata ng kanyang kalaban. But in this case, boy, Ishizawa looks like the first 5 rounds were just a testing. 2 combination shots launched there by Suganov. Hindi man lang natinag itong si Ishizawa. Now Ishizawa has been knocked out once in his career. And he did suffer that knockout loss against Masataka Taniguchi in 2019. Make that in 2022. It was a 10th round TKO. His first loss was to Taniguchi in 2019, but that's by unanimous decision over 8 rounds. Nauunahan na po si Suganov. Again, the reach advantage has been totally negated. Now watch out for the low blows. Taniguchi has really, Ishizawa has really flipped the script here. Naging flat-footed na itong si Suganov. He is retreating, and every time he tries to pull off something, Ishizawa is in his face. Another round looming towards the fighter from Japan. Suganov was so accurate in the first 3 rounds, now he can't hit anything. And round number 7 looks, at least unofficially, to go the way of Kai Ishizawa. And this is on the other side of the building. As we sweep through the crowd here at the Holy Name University Gymnasium, all trying to catch a glimpse of this main event for the WBO Global Light Flyweight Championship. The title, of course, held by Reggie, the Filipino phenom Suganov. And again, we go back to some of the action in round number 7. So nakita nga natin, ang dami ng body blows sa pinapakawalan. Wala pa rin sagot na nagagawa itong si Suganov, who used his reach advantage throughout the first 4 rounds.
Second sound.
Was accurate until the first 3. Unti-unti na nung round number 5. Nakuha na ni Ishizawa ang kanyang rhythm as they now enter the 8th. Well, Zarate pa rin po nag-aatid ng aksyon. Unofficially, we have Suganov ahead, but only by 1 round. The last 3 unofficially have gone the way of Ishizawa. Ishizawa now body hunting. Di na muna niya pakikialaman yung sugat sa ulo nitong si Suganov, which has opened up again. Not quite sure if it came from an accidental headbutt. Some power shots to the body as well from Suganov. He's trying to destroy the timing of Ishizawa. And it looks like here in the 8th round, Suganov has been successful so far. Nawala sa timing ng bahagya itong si Ishizawa. Again, Suganov needs to use his length. He's got about a 3 or 4 inch reach advantage. He has a 4 inch height advantage over his opponent. And again, itong si Ishizawa is just trying to make inroads in the junior flyweight division after campaigning most of his career as a minimum weight. Both fighters came in at 107.2 pounds. That's a lot more muscle though for Ishizawa. Oh! Ishizawa got staggered there by the left hook coming from Suganov. And another one! Ishizawa is down! Ready to fight now siya. The blood is coming out of Suganov's head. And Ishizawa smells the blood. Wants to get it back. Oh, great right coming from Ishizawa. Napatras na si Suganov. Ishizawa missing. Less than a minute remaining here in this pivotal 8th round. 1 knockdown scored already, so this is a 10-8 round for Suganov. The question is, can Ishizawa get the knockdown back? That right hand earlier sent Suganov backwards. Nakabawi na ba? 3-punch combination, all power shots. Another connection to the head. And throwing in the towel. The side of Ishizawa. It's over. The corner of Kai Ishizawa threw in the towel after the late barrage coming from Reggie Suganov. And despite the head wound, Reggie Suganov of Taoist Bohol retains his WBO Global Light Flyweight Championship. This will be by a technical knockout, and it appears that the doctor needs to be summoned here. What a dramatic ending! Just when it looked like Ishizawa was finding his rhythm, he had been winning rounds. The 8th round turns out to be a charm. We hope to see the knockdown punch earlier that set up this entire throwing in of the towel. Here we go. Una yan, napatras siya doon. Oh, that was a knockdown punch already. There was an uppercut before that. We see this one again. It was actually a left hook. Nawala ng balanse bigla. Ito si Ishizawa. And here towards the end, when he was starting to get peppered, you see the towel coming into the frame. And Dandrek Stapnazan has to stop the fight. It looks like Ishizawa is now lying down on the canvas. Kanina nakaupo siya and now they put him down on the canvas, but there's your champion retaining his World Boxing Organization Global Light Flyweight title. Reggie, the Filipino phenom Suganov of Dawis Bohol. So he will now climb to 15 wins with only one loss, and that will be only his 5th knockout of his career. But how sweet is it para dito kay Reggie Suganov to get that knockout in front of his home crowd here in Bohol. Again, concerned right now for ito si Kai Ishizawa, who's now lying on the canvas. Hiniga na po siya nitong ating ring physician and his entire corners around him. I hope we can get a shot of that as well, because Ishizawa actually was sitting down earlier. They waved off the fight when the corner threw in the towel. So from lying down, he's actually lying down on a stretcher right now. But he is moving. He's pointing to his head. Yeah, you can see that. He's got the oxygen on. He's pointing to his head. I'm not quite sure if he felt something there sa kanyang ulo nung siya'y pabagsak na. Actually, he did go down after Danrek Sapdasan stopped the fight. But of course, the safety of the fighter is first and foremost. It's paramount to all our referees, even to all the promoters. So he is being wheeled off. Ito po si Kai Ishizawa, and he will be brought in for more medical treatment. So again, what an example of a fighter who had everything under control, and suddenly his opponent came back, and Reggie Suganov dug down deep, and now we have the official announcement.
Before we announce the official result of this championship bout, let's give a round of applause to our two warriors who gave us an exhilarating bout. With the official time of 2 minutes and 38 seconds in round number 8, we have your winner by way of technical knockout, and still the WBO Global Junior Flyweight Champion, Reggie, the Filipino phenom Suganov.
And of course, referee Danrek Sapdasan making it official as Reggie, the Filipino phenom Suganov, retains his WBO Global Light Flyweight title and now climbs to a record of 15 wins, 1 loss.